So when I think about what led me to homelessness, I think about legal trouble I'd gotten into and separation from my spouse. For me, it's been a few years now. Seems like it was just a couple, but yeah, about 3 years, the end of 2019. And basically, when I got out of the military in July 2017, I was just very unprepared. It was a harsh exit, general, under honorable discharge. That is the truth. You're afforded many of the same services with an honorable, but definitely feel stigma, even if it's applied only by yourself. And a lot of guilt, a lot of shame. And it just happens, bro. And on top of that, I don't think I was ever a very good husband or father. I was there. But, you know, it's also very much so active in alcoholism after the Army. And it didn't take much time. Eventually, I did get a job. I will want to argue a few months later. So October 21st, I think, is when I started a property maintenance job. And, you know, it wasn't very long until that led to me, you know, mingling with staff who use drugs. And soon I'm doing crystal meth and painting rooms, thinking it's all kosher. And it really wasn't. I think that was a huge reason why, you know, things fell apart. But I would also argue, you know, the system isn't geared towards me. I know living with family, because I was living with my ex-mother-in-law and my family, which, you know, is my ex-wife and my 2 children. Especially where I'm from, the area reminds me a lot of like the Brentwood. It's Santa Barbara. It's a wealthy area. And the fact of the matter is, if you own a home, you're going to face a lot of obstacles. And my ex-wife and her family, they're African American. And to say that they don't face obstacles is wrong. And then furthermore, I would argue there are people who capitalize on it. I know their place ended up getting a foreclosure. But I know even when foreclosure in the past had been admonished, no matter what, legal fees get paid for the attorneys who take part in that, despite it being admonished. That to me seems particularly wrong. And I think it displays how people get taken advantage of in this day and age. I don't need to go further into that. But,
sure.
These were all factors.
Yeah.
And, you know, obviously, when you have an addiction,
yep.
In my case, it was the crystal meth and alcohol. It leads to legal consequences, which ended me up in veteran treatment court. And I feel like the biggest folly they had with trying to address me or help me, however you want to say it,
right,
is they refused to pay attention to my family. They refused to help with that. I know immediately at the end of December 2019, I think it was January 1st or 3rd, 2020, they didn't know what to do with me because I just separated out homeless. They put me in a detox. I go. It's a lot of tomfoolery there, a lot of BS. And it really came to a head when I had family courts to basically fight for my kids. Temporary restraining orders had been placed. I tell them I have court, I need to go. Veteran treatment court and the leadership from the detox tell me, too bad, so sad. And I say, screw that. These are my children. I'm fucking going. And I did. And it cost me my spot at detox, but that was, it really parallels everything, the way that shit went down, because
it all kind of
I'm
crumbles.
gonna be defined. I want to see my kids, you know, maybe not the most, maybe I'm not the best, but I do know this. When I'm around my kids, I'm a better man. And when I have the hope of seeing them, it's like it brings the sunshine that comes with the dawn back into my life. Now that I don't, I lose hope. I have the absence. I have despair. And if veteran treatment court can't see that sort of thing, what the hell are they doing servicing people to begin with? So yeah, I think that's what kind of led here. I do know too, and we had kind of spoke about that a little earlier, that COVID also took place during this time. I want to say February, March is when it first started coming about, 2020. There was a need for me to get into a program, at least on my end. It wasn't a nudge from the judge at that point, but I was trying. Veteran treatment court, despite multiple Zoom meetings and court appearances, could not decipher a correct way for me to enter a program I wanted. What ended up happening is my parents, who live in a downtown area in Santa Barbara, are very close to the court. So when I show up the same day to go to court, and I appear before the judge, and I cry, and I'm helpless, and I'm asking, what do I need to do to get into the program before her? That same helplessness very much so offended my family, and my father and my mother. I ended up getting a felony stalking charge, Greg Bryson stalks Greg Bryson. And it ends up with me going to jail for 52 days, me coming to LA to take advantage of benefits, attending New Directions here on the North Campus, which is great, right? I'm supposed to get better. The only thing is, they only know how to treat you with sending you into that system. That system is not perfect. Despite being drug tested and breathalyzed every day, repeatedly, just every day, it's the standard there, and that's great. I adhered to it. I ended up being kicked out for something I'd argued, and my probation officer argued, it's kind of like a farce, right? They claimed that through video footage, staff had felt threatened, but they could neither prove or deny I was doing said thing. And my probation officer had the mentality of, if there's not a police report, it didn't fucking happen. When he explained it like that, I kind of agreed. I feel like there should be a heavier amount of scrutiny if you're going to make that decision. But I know this. They like veterans who are quiet, complacent, and a paycheck means more to them than so much. I see it every day here.
What are some things that would have helped? I know these are like sometimes out of our control, but do you notice any areas besides just being more of a human and being, having more empathy and empathizing with the veteran and their family situation and all that sort of stuff?
Well, I guess I'm asking for a lot when I say those kind of things, but truth be told, the most powerful thing I think you can do is just listen, even absent the empathy. Anyone just hearing me out is going to make me feel better, and I got to share that with another human being. And we're not always heard here. Gosh, I could think of tons of examples, but I think the biggest one I felt was pretty recent. It was with the fire. I didn't burn in it. I was in a room 85 in CTRS, but such was the proximity that some of the items, I guess, melted within my place. And luckily, people got me out. That was great work of security at CTRS, which they're awesome people. And so I was saved and everything. The place never burned. But
Wow.
when there was the aftermath and the response of the first responders, I started to realize there are people there who are very accustomed to the homeless life, and for them to even be at CTRS, think of functioning on homeless level being very low, they almost have to reach a high plateau to even be there and to be sustained there. And it's a delicate balance. They can lose it at any time. And I think of a woman who I pleaded with that night, and I listened to her, and I hope it was valuable to her, but I said, you don't want to leave here just because you're kicked out of your place for now. Please stay on the VA campus. Should I have been the only one voicing that to her? Probably not. I think it's very reasonable for staff to have done something like that there, but such is my concern that someone like that, if she goes back out there, she may not fucking come back, man. And that's just a reality. It took a lot to get her there. It's better for her to be there. Don't fuck up the balance, is my argument.
Yeah, that's a good point. Can you talk a little bit about the conditions, you know, and what can be improved?
You know, as an addict, I really think transparency is huge for us.
Yeah.
But I think it should apply to everyone, even people who aren't addicts. I think a lot gets justified at CTRS, the teeny homes here at West Los Angeles, because conceptually, yes, this is a temporary fix. They want to utilize VASH, but this very much counters what some of the vets want or what some of them need. And it is a shame. I don't have a full understanding of it, but I am aware that the land was granted from a private party for veterans. And at the time, it was Civil War veterans who I think were wounded and, needed care. I think as time has gone on, the needs of veterans have changed. And I think right now, there's a homeless crisis, whether you're a veteran or not. And the veterans who are homeless, they need this place. They need to be treated just like the Civil War vets. I mean, things have changed, I guess, the circumstances, but there's still vets in need. And I don't think it's right to try to capitalize on us for like a VASH system and just shoot us out into like where I was prior, project-based housing. It's all very buddy-buddy, very bureaucratic, where, the needs that people get lost in the policy and the needs of the infrastructure that it is. And it's a damn shame, man. It's a damn shame. I think I probably got a little off topic, but please keep.
No, you're good.
Asking me.
Yeah. Let me take a quick cut here.